been a while. I'm back, baby. I'm back. There is a war. Dog hater for life. Welcome back. Welcome back to another worthless mutts. Gore the Dog Butcher, finally back. It has been busy. And for the most part, just, haven't been in the mood for making videos. But no, nevertheless, I've been putting in the work, spreading dog hatred, putting in the work against these worthless mutts, against these worthless dog owners, and against this notorious manipulative dog industry. It's roughly, you can say, 4 years. 4 years, maybe almost 4 years that I've been doing this, expressing my anti-dog. And this probably would have happened if it were not for the so-called lockdown that occurred a few years ago. And I'm grateful to be able to learn more about these worthless mutts, to learn more about this dreadful dog industry and this dog culture. And to actually have a day where I can say, I know more about these worthless mutts than dog owners, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. A couple of things that I want to discuss. There's probably more. Can't remember. The first thing that I wanted to discuss, there was in Canada, there was a bear attack that left 2 people and their worthless mutt dead. And I'm not gonna, read the article. I'm not gonna do that. But if you want to look it up. Look up Canada Banff, 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 and you can read about the bear attack. And 2 people were killed, and their worthless mutt was killed. And then right after, they pretty much killed the bear that killed these people and the worthless mutt. First thing I want to say is that, again, I was not there. I don't know exactly what happened. But I, for one, have seen many videos of dogs approaching and barking at wild animals such as bears, other wild cats, deer. These dogs will come out, or at least if they're already out, they will approach these animals and just bark at them. They'll just approach them and just bark at them. I'm not joking. And, you know, sometimes these dog nutters will say the dog was heroic, scared so-and-so away, when in actuality this dog was just annoying the thing. And the thing probably meant no harm. But a lot of times, again, these dogs are the ones annoying and causing problems against these wild animals, against bears. So my theory and what I suspect is this is what happened. The dog wanted a piece of the bear, of the grizzly bear, got his, and these dog nut owners, dog lovers, you know, tried to save their worthless mutt. And by doing so, they were killed by the bear. There are many stories of dog nutters putting themselves in danger to save their worthless mutt, where it has concluded with them dying in attempts to saving their worthless mutt. So I would not be surprised if this dog was the one that caused the bear to kill the dog and to also kill the two people, to the two dog nutters, because these dog nutters were trying to save their worthless mutt. And they pretty much died doing so. They died for a worthless mutt. And then what the article stated was that the bear was then euthanized. But we all know when dogs attack and kill someone, most times, I'll say most times, the dog is captured and taken away very gently, placed in a crate. And sometimes they do this 10-day whatever eval or whatever, and sometimes the dog is set free. Sometimes the dog is put down days after. And sometimes what I think, a lot of these dogs are being shipped off to other cities, states, or countries. And for any other wild animal, even though bear attacks are very rare, they're very rare, and bears tend to just mind their own business. But this bear, you know, after one rare attack, killing these dog nutters and their dog, immediately the bear was tracked down and killed. And I have to ask this question: how do you know it was that bear? How did they know it was that bear? Who knows? And the other thing that I want to discuss regarding these worthless mutts, man, these dogs, they're worthless. Like they are worthless. They pathetic. They're dumb. They cannot fend for themselves, cannot take care of themselves. And we know this And we know this because a lot of dogs are being rescued. They're being rescued from streets. They're all placed in shelters, being, promoted or advertised to be stuck into someone's home. Stray dogs are just filthy and disgusting. They can't take care of themselves. They can't. They can't. So I ask this question. I'm going to ask this question. Knowing that dogs are so worthless, they can't fend or survive on their own for themselves. They can't do it. So why do they even mate? What is the purpose of dogs mating? If they can't fend for themselves, how are they going to fend for their litter of garbage, worthless puppies? How? It doesn't make sense. And we know, like, the male dog does its thing. For what reason, I don't know. And then the female has its litter of garbage. Even though itself cannot fend for her own self. Cannot find food for its own self, its own self, not herself, its own self. How can it find food and protect and rear and nurture its own offspring if it cannot fend for itself? Am I making sense here, people? Birds, maybe most of them, fend for the young. They teach their young. Their young learn, and they're off on their own. Lions, same thing. Tigers, cheetahs, leopards, gorillas, various monkeys. Pretty much every single animal, maybe not all of them, I'll say most are nurtured, are fed by their mother or father animal. And they prosper. They've been prospering really well on their own for, let's say, millions of years. On their own, mind you. Even though many places are being developed, condos, etc., being developed, a lot of these animals are still striving on their own. Now the dog, the worthless mutt, the domesticated dog, the dog you have locked in your home, can't do that for its own self, cannot do that for its own offspring. It can't even do that for its own owner. I don't ever see a dog coming home with food for the owner or doing something for the owner without being asked. Something that's essential. I'm not talking about getting a stick. I'm not talking about getting a stick for nothing or a ball for nothing. I'm talking about something that is essential, like finding food, water, something that they can use, that they need to use. But dogs don't do that. They can't fend for themselves. So how the heck are they going to fend and survive for their own worthless offspring? It makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. None. It doesn't make sense. Ladies and gentlemen, dogs are worthless. They're dumb. They cannot survive in the wild. They can't survive on their own. They can't survive on the streets. They can't do it. They can't do it. But the people want to praise these worthless mutts, even though they're so pathetic and worthless. one more thing, or another thing at least, that I want to talk about that just crossed my mind is how within dog culture, or pit culture, when dogs do something good, or at least if they do something that's not attacking someone, everyone is going to praise the dog. They're going to praise the dog. They don't praise the owner, saying, hey, great job training your dog to do. No, they praise the dog and say, good boy, good girl. They praise the dog. They give the dog all the credit for doing whatever it does. Again, as long as it's not mauling people, they're going to praise it, worship it, appreciate it, be grateful for the dog. But only after this dog attacks someone, whether you want to call it provoked or unprovoked, whether the dog attacks someone, let's say unprovoked, since dogs usually attack unprovoked anyways. This dog attacks unprovoked, attacks a person for no reason. All of a sudden, no one wants to blame the dog for it. No one wants to say bad dog, but instead they point the finger to elsewhere onto the owner. This is only after the dog attacks someone, after the dog kills someone. Then all of a sudden it's the owner's fault. Well, if that dog is doing things that is not where it's killing someone, then the dog itself gets all the praise, all the glory. The owner may get a speck of it, but we all know these dog nuts, they want to worship the dog. Even when the dog does nothing, they gotta find something so they can worship this dog. The dog could just be sitting there doing nothing. They're gonna use that just so they can worship the dog, so they can, get excited for this worthless mutt. They just want to be happy for it. But as soon, in that split second, out of nowhere, when that thing attacks someone, the owner, prior to that, the owner didn't even cross their mind. They say, friendly dog, good this, great dog. But as soon as dog attacks or bites someone, all of a sudden, it's not bad dog, it's bad owner. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Gore the Dog Butcher. This is another Worthless Mutts. And remember, please do so remember, it is okay to hate dogs.